Hello and welcome to this update for Unit 3. I wanted to start with a few observations and some recommendations for you. First of all, a recommendation. It can be really effective to use groups to get feedback on your assignments. It's a way of getting smaller groups together and giving people sort of round robin feedback on their assignments so that one person can both get and receive feedback from other people within their group. I definitely recommend trying to use this. The facilities are there to do it. You can either create your own group or use the group tool to try to create a group of other people. So I definitely recommend that. Hopefully you'll get good quality feedback. I do see good quality feedback going on in the forums in general, but being able to do it within a group can really help. So please take a look at that. Some of the activity in the forums, we didn't even start. There was a good conversation from Willie Wiss about another paper that he was bringing in on a Harvard Business Review study that related to some of the stuff that we've been reading in class. All learning is coercive, and was the topic of it. It talks about creativity and curiosity within the space of learning, and I definitely recommend taking a look at that paper and that discussion. I think it's exemplifies a lot of the kind of good discussion that we see going on in the course. We had an activity break that was about simulation, and I think there were two comments, one from Amello and one from Kay Dunn. And they both sort of had a similar sort of feedback, which was they get a little lost when they were just sort of looking at some of the simulations that are just sort of standalone simulations, like a lot of the PhET simulations, for example. And really where the learning comes from is some sort of structure that you put around it, some sort of narrative that you put along with it, something that unifies what's going on in there, and also some abilities to maybe look under the hood. So these are some reasons, these are some of the things that we think about when we're designing games. And when we sort of take things that are in the simulation and we extrapolate on that and we try to make some context for it, make a story around it. And I think that's sort of where some of those simulations transition to coming into games and some of that additional structure. So interesting reflection, and I'm relating it now to some of our own work. There was a Make a Mod activity also this week, which was about modding some sort of existing educational technology. And people took different kinds of approaches to that. One of them was modding this course that you're looking at right now. There was Ann EV, which was, there was a discussion around this, and there was people talking about ways that videos could be different, ways that conversations could be different. And in fact, there were two sides on that. There were people taking different perspectives, some of them saying that they liked some things the way they were, other people saying they liked them in a different way. I think one of the outcomes from that is that we know that there's lots of different people who are learning in lots of different ways, and as we think about, as we make courses like this one in MOOCs, there are ways that we can sort of appeal to broader audiences, but it sort of also encourages us to be able to create a greater diversity of these kinds of courses that might, each one might be appeal to some sort of more limited audience, but the fact that we're able to do these at scale allows every learner to find something that they like somewhere within this ecology of courses that exist. Other ones that existed, KDM001 and GelSol were talking about ways that they've used, we're modifying a lot of existing sort of structures, one on Turnitin, one on checklists that exist in online learning environments, and how to make those both more user-friendly and more teacher-friendly, most importantly. And finally, Richard Gammons, who did a mod for Makescape, which was something we've talked about in this class, and talking about ways to do instruction without text, and then illustrated that with some illustrations itself. So nice job going there. So finally, the assignment for this one was about addressing your challenge, and there were a number of really good attempts on that. I'll just point out a few of those. One on Lou Barker, we're intrigued by his. It's a lot of times the people who are doing these activities are in domains I'm really familiar with, and I really get how they're approaching these problems. And this is one which was for a PQ recorder, which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's a domain training electrical utility personnel. And I like sort of pushing my own thinking as we sort of think about some of these applications in other kinds of domains. KD13, who posted a nice video as well as a document about helping with immigrant literacy, which was good. Ban Keat Chua did a nice video where he actually illustrated, did live illustrations during a sort of a presentation. It's sort of I guess what might be thought of as a presentation video, but with live illustrating some of the physics principles that he was talking about. And finally, Daniel Plaza gave a nice Prezi. If you haven't seen Prezi before, it's this presentation that sort of zooms in various places. And a lot of times I've actually seen it used very much like PowerPoint, except you sort of zoom to your slides in different parts of the slide. This was done really effectively around a central illustration and really actually did a really nice job sort of telling the story of this educational technology, which was around collaborative educational technologies. So with that, I'll say we'll be launching Unit 4 this week, and you can look for it there, and we'll see you online. Thanks.